I just don't read.
Okay, now we finally got to go live. Sorry, guys. We were waiting, literally waiting. They said that like YouTube's really busy right now, so we are now live a minute past due. Sorry, everyone. But welcome to RECS by the Bottle. This is a live show that we do in order for you guys to get like personalized book recommendations. It's a lot easier than like when you guys just post in comments and then, you know, we're trying to recommend. It's a lot easier when you're actually talking to us here. So we actually have two new guests tonight. We have Marcy from Marcy Reads, and she's like horror queen. So if you were looking for any horror recs, she's the one. And then we have Hailey from Hailey Hughes. And she is also a big fan of thrillers. And I mean, you probably read very similarly, I feel like, to all of us, I feel.
Oh, yeah. Thriller, romance, horror.
Yeah. And then we still have Jess from Reading With Jess and Gwen from Gwendolyn Kensinger. And I have everyone's channel links down below in the description. So if you guys aren't subscribed to them, you can easily click in the description and go find their links and subscribe. So I'm going to look through some of these comments because they all come in at one time. Karen, she's like, I'm so used to being on Zoom, I almost waved to you. Oh, hi, Deja.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. The dorm.
That is, I should have said tuning in, but you know, coming from you live. Yeah. That's awesome. Can't wait to see your weekly move-in video, hopefully.
How fun.
Yeah. Okay, so while people are jumping in, I think that we're going to go through Hailey and Marcy's like all-time favorite thrillers, because you probably already know me and Gwen's and Jess's. I feel like we've talked about them a lot. So let's start with you, Hailey. You can go ahead first.
Well, if you've watched my channel at all, you probably know my favorite book of all time is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This is my brand at this point. It is the best book I've ever read. I'm not easily scared. And this book like had me shaking in my boots. So this is my biggest recommendation. I also love The Girl in 6E, this whole series by A.R. Torre. If you like romance and erotica and thriller horror, this is perfect for you. A new favorite of mine is Survive the Night by Riley Sager, which might be controversial. You know, not everyone loves it. Me and Gwen.
Yes, Hailey. Yes. I love it too.
All day. Okay, good. Okay. When the first
trifecta here.
Thank God. When the first reviews came out, I was like, everybody hates my new favorite book. But I love it. Also, Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, I feel like is severely underrated. If you like Pretty Girls and you're looking for something similar, Jar of Hearts.
Yes.
Another underrated rec is Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk. This isn't like a traditional thriller. It's kind of weird. If you like weird horror like Bunny Back on a Wad or something like that, this is the one for you.
I've never heard of that one.
Those are like my top 5.
Okay. Nice. All right, Marcy.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with just my all-time favorite, and I'm sure everybody knows it is The Rust Maidens. Like, I feel like this book is not talked about enough, and I love it. It's just me. It's my brand, like my girl Hailey says.
Is that horror or is that thriller?
It's horror.
Okay.
Well, for thriller, the only ones that I could really think about is like Still House.
No, horror is good. I just want you to specify because I know Regina, she was in the comment saying, "Give me all the horror recs."
Yeah, this is real. This is horror. It's not nothing like super like graphic or extreme horror. It's very calm, very subtle horror about these friends, and it has a lot of body horror in it as well, which I absolutely love. It deals with friendships and family and that kind of stuff. A new favorite for me, it's a translated work, and that is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basterrica. And this is translated from Spanish. I love it. I'm Argentinian, so I just love seeing the Argentinian culture talked about. And especially since we're real big meat eaters, and then something like this happens, that was huge for me to read. So I really love this one. A third favorite of mine is Kill River. This is all horror. And this is like a slasher, summer, campy kind of horror that takes place in it's not an abandoned water park, but the water park is about to open, and these kids sort of like run away from their camps, and they end up at this water park all by themselves. So they're like enjoying the water park, but they don't know that there's a killer on the loose.
Oh my gosh, that sounds good.
Yes, it is like perfect for summer, and it is a trilogy. It has 3 books. If it's a trilogy, hello. But I've read the first 2 books and I loved them. The third one I haven't read yet, so I can't speak on that one. Another one of my favorites, and this is a haunted house story, and I usually don't like haunted house stories, so I like to talk about this one because it really, I mean, I just loved it. That's The Nightmare Room. This is a trilogy as well, but I've only read the first 2 books and I love them both. It's just about this family that goes, they're moving back to his hometown, the husband's hometown, to where he grew up in, and the basement is a little bit haunted, and you know, things happen from there. So that's 4. And the 5th one that I'm going to talk about, I haven't talked about a lot. It's just a recent favorite of mine, and that's In the Scrape by James Newman and Mark Steensland. And this is just a coming of age story about 2 boys and their abusive father and them trying to get away from him. And it's a really short one, and it's so good.
Nice.
I wrote all those down.
I'm so bad with writing them down, so then I have to go back and rewatch it and be like, okay, yeah, that one. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Okay, so we actually got some recommendations in, or I should say like asking for recommendations, because we had posted on Instagram. So we're going to start with those. But for those of you watching, like you can go ahead and like ask for book recommendations and we'll like go through the list. So if you're like thinking about one already and you're like, oh, I forgot, I wanted to ask them about, you know, like a book that's like this one or whatever, you can go ahead and put that in the chat and then I'll come back to it. Let's go ahead and start with, let's see, Dancing to Rock and Roll on Instagram had asked for really strong thrillers that don't get talked about ever on BookTube. And you guys can think about it, and even like everyone that's watching, you guys can also post your answers. But if anyone wants to go first, or if you need like time to think about it, I'm gonna post the thing in like a chat so I can put it up front.
I personally feel like Chevy Stevens, because all 3 of us originally hadn't heard or read anything by that author, and I feel like since then we've all read more by that author, and I feel like it's starting to get a little more hype. I would highly recommend Chevy Stevens. I've read 3 of her books so far.
And what about that author that you and Jacqueline just read, Kristen Moglen?
I just got the book in the mail, actually.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Because that's one that I have a book for. I haven't read yet. The Arrangement.
Moglen, I think is how you say it.
Yeah, Moglen. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just picked up 3 books from her.
You said Chevy Stevens?
Chevy Stevens. Yeah, she's like
a Canadian author, I believe.
Yeah,
too.
she's got like 8 books out so far.
And what's your favorite from hers?
Well, I've only read 1, so.
I really like her her newest one, Dark Roads. I had the NetGalley arc when I read it, and then I recently read Still Missing. Okay. And I feel like the whole like first half of that book was really good. And and Gwen read that one too. Okay. And then I feel like if you like Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, I think you'll like That Night, because it has very similar vibes from that one. So I would recommend, I recommend all of them so far, but yeah, Chevy Stevens for sure.
I just read Falling by TJ Newman. I know it's probably like you've heard about it. It's the one with the airplane on the cover. It was a new release this summer. I've seen a lot of people like haul it and stuff like that, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. I just finished it and it was so good, and it was a debut. It's under 300 pages. I think it's like the perfect like poolside read, beach read, like on vacation read, because it's not that long. You're just going to want to know what happens. It's short chapters. There's like a little bit of different like storylines. The only thing, don't read it on a plane. But other than that, you're good. But yeah, so I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but I know like everybody's seen the book at least.
Right. Yeah, that cover is stunning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It is beautiful. Yeah. Oh, good. A lot of people are like, I'm glad it was good.
Yeah. I did like it. I mean, I've seen people give it like 3 and stuff like that, but I mean, I almost gave it a 5, but I ended up with a 4, but I could have easily said 5. I'm just being harder on my star ratings this year. So.
I just finished Good Neighbors. Really dark, disturbing, almost borderline horror.
Ooh.
That sounds good. Ooh, other people like the arrangement too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That book had me like not breathing. I literally sat in my driveway for like 15 minutes listening to the audiobook. I was like, I need to know how this chapter ends, because it went from like 0 to 100 like real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna need to read that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Falling was great. See, people agree with me.
There's this actually, Marcy, were you on that live show with me? I forget. Did you read Stuff for the Children with me?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that is definitely underrated, because
it really is.
I mean, I guess it is for a very specific audience. Like, it's like apocalyptic, end of the world, but it's like vampires and zombies with like all the little kids dying in the world. But Regina actually read it like, I think it was a month ago. I think she read it while we were going on the beach trip, and she also loved it too. So I was like, yeah, that's another person that loved this book that I never hear anyone talk about.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's just because it's an older book and it was talked about before, maybe, but that's a really good one. And I feel like that's a good one for beginners too, like people that are trying to get into that horror genre.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, they said Hostage. Hostage is also an airplane book. I guess it's weird that 2 airplane books came out in the same year, but I feel like that happens sometimes where it's like there's always 2 of the same book. It's weird. Because didn't like
oh, that's the one that you got.
Like, yeah, I have this one. This is Claire McIntosh. But it's like, you know how sometimes like in a year there's like a book that has like the same title or the same like subject or the same theme. It's weird how like that just happens.
I'm wondering.
And I just want to throw it out there also. I know everybody's heard of it. It was a book of the month pick, but Razorblade Tears. I also read that and it was so good. So good. So if you're holding out, if you're a book of the month member and you got Razorblade Tears, you need to pick it up, because it's really, really good. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is for me. But the more I got into it, I was just like, yes. So
what is it really about?
Good. Yeah, I have it here.
It's the black father and a white father that had gay sons that got murdered, and they're going on revenge. So like Falling and Razorblade Tears, they're super like action-packed. Like think of like an action-packed movie. That's how those work. I mean, when I'm saying they went for revenge, it was like no holds bar. People died, graphic, like they were finding out what happened, and they were seeking revenge.
But not action movie like Hairpin Bridge.
Oh no, I didn't consider that. I didn't consider that an action movie. That was like one high-speed chase, and then it was like, oh yeah, and I rewound and watched that same high-speed chase again. So
yeah, it
wasn't like that.
Fight over and over again. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Any other strong thrillers that don't get talked about on BookTube?
This is sorry, Marcy.
No, go, lady.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this is not talked about because it's not out yet or it just came out, but Lucinda Berry's new release, Please See Us. I really enjoyed that.
Look at Jessie.
Yeah. I actually bought it. Was like on sale and I bought it. so that way I could finish out my whole, like, I have like so many Listen to Fairies on my shelf that I haven't read. So I was like, why not just get the newest one?
This one?
Oh, and The Secrets of Us. I guess I read 2 of hers, but Please See Us and The Secrets of Us were both really good.
Which one's the one that you just said? I'm sorry.
The Secrets of Us was the arc.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that you read.
Yeah. So I think that one either just came out or it's coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Secrets of Us just came out. Yeah.
Okay.
If you like Brother, I feel like you would like.
Oh,
I need to read
Brother.
that. You keep every time I watch your videos and you mention it, I'm like, dang it, I need to get that book and read it.
Gwen, yes, you need to read it.
Okay, I'm writing it down again.
That needs to be like your next book.
Damn.
I cried
I
so
have
hard.
both Brother and Within These Walls, and I still haven't read it.
Okay.
I feel like although she's a very popular author, Lisa Jules, Then She Was Gone is another one that doesn't get talked about enough.
That's my
And-
girl.
Oh my gosh, I love her. All of her books have been 5 stars for me, but that one just seemed like darker than all the other ones that she has written, and I love where she took that novel.
See, I feel like that one's a really well loved by her, but like someone spoiled the whole thing for me.
Oh,
They thought I read it and they like literally, I mean, so that's why I haven't read it because I know what happens.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, great.
thank you.
Horrible.
Sounded like it would have been awesome.
The Secrets
Maybe you
of Us
could
is
wait a
on.
little bit and then read it.
True.
I feel like Lisa Jules' whole backlist is underrated. Like her
Yes.
really old books from the early 2000s. Like Jackie, you would love The Third Wife if you haven't read that one yet because of the like dynamics. This guy has 3 different wives, like kind of overlapping each other. Like he's like seeing the next one before he divorced the one, and they're all just like friends, and they like hang out and go on vacations together. It is crazy.
That sounds like
I
Jackie's kind of book.
really like knows me to a T. She's like, yeah, this guy, he shares his wife. Jackie, you would love it.
You would love this.
I mean, you love that marriage stuff. Which, like,
Oh yeah.
anything messy, that's what I'm here for.
Okay, I need to write this one down because I've only read one Lisa Jewell, and it was Then She Was Gone. And I haven't read any others.
Oh my gosh, her books
what
are
was this
so
one called?
good. I need to catch up on all of her back list because I've read her newer ones.
Yeah.
Her new one that's getting ready to come out sounds really good.
Yeah, I just got an arc of that.
Did
I'm
you?
going to her book tour. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna meet
awesome.
her.
I'm so jealous.
That is awesome. What was the name of the Lisa Jewell book?
The Third Wife.
The third. Okay.
She's like, what is that name? Get to me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have just looked it up and been like, oh, The Third Wife, that sounds like it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, someone said Intensity by Dean Koontz,
I don't read
which
that.
I think I've been told to read that before and I just haven't picked it up.
I
few
just
of
found
his-
a Dean Koontz today.
You
Yeah.
what?
A
You bought one
random
today?
Goodwill find.
Yep.
Nice.
I haven't read him yet, but I do own a couple of his books, and one of my friends has recommended 3 of his. And she's like, you need to read these 3. And I have them there. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Mhm. I agree with this. Her One Mistake by Heidi Perks. It's actually pretty good with like a child is like missing / kidnapped or whatever.
Oh, I have that one. Yes.
Yeah, it came out a couple years, maybe 3
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah, but that one was pretty good. Okay, let me move on. Let's see. I gotta find the next. Okay, books that have the same vibe as The Night Swim by Megan Golden. That is the next.
I haven't read that one yet.
Dare
It's
you?
really good.
I love that one.
So we were talking about this, and we don't know if they were looking for like the Me Too rape culture type storylines, or if they were looking for like the podcast elements. If you're looking for like podcast elements, I would say If I Disappear by Eliza Brazier, I think it is. That That's one I can recommend, but it has nothing like with the Me Too, rape culture, or anything like that. So it's just the podcast elements.
If you are looking for like podcasts or like mixed media, I would say A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because it's got a lot, especially for the audiobook, it's got a lot of that format. But yeah, if you're looking for, and then I've heard Sadie by Courtney Summers.
Mm-hmm. I've read that one. That was good.
Read it, but
Jacqueline did not love it, but I did love it.
Jacqueline
I did not like it. I think it's way overhyped. I think I just like hyped myself up too much, and then I went in and I was like, "Oh, this is it."
That's it.
I never got to the end. I just DNF'd it.
Ooh. You know, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder wasn't a favorite for me. And I'm like really in the minority because everybody loves that book.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the second one better than the first.
Oh, maybe I'll give it a try.
One.
I just recently read that one and it was good. I gave both 4 stars. I like them equally, especially since I'm not someone that really likes series. So, but I mean, I liked them both. They both had that element to them too as well.
Mm-hmm. I would say if you are looking for a memoir that's about like rape culture, then read Know My Name by Chanel Miller. That one kind of reminds me of The Night Swim a bit, just because of like the same theme and topic, but it's a true story, whereas The Night Swim is not.
And then Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson kind of has vibes like Me Too, and
that one does.
And stuff like that.
Monica said Temper by Lane Fargo. Isn't that the same person that wrote the Never? That one that's going around right now.
They Never Learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read Temper, so I might. Okay, I'm just going to add it.
Yeah.
And then Conviction by Denise Mina, same vibe as The Night Swim.
Nice.
And Whisper Network by Chandler Baker.
Oh, I did not like the Whisper Network.
I DNF'd it.
Yeah, I did too.
I just the literary fiction I just can't get into very much. Okay. Next one is books that gave you a cozy feeling.
Oh, books that gave me a cozy feeling.
Any Agatha Christie for me, that just feels like a hug. Like they're not very exciting or thrilling, but I always read Agatha Christie on Christmas because it just feels cozy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've read any Agatha Christie.
I tried once. Does that count?
It's hard to get into. I totally understand. It's very
the Hercule Poirot, or however you Poirot, whatever. I've read 2 of because I tried to read it in chronological order, so I read the first 2 and I enjoyed them. I mean, they're kind of slow, but like Hailey said, they're like very comforting and just cozy.
Gotcha. I don't really understand the concept of cozy.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I have any for this.
I mean, I really liked Beach Read. I don't know. Like
Oh, yes. That is cozy. Yes.
Okay.
That is so cozy.
I had all the cozy blankets on my couch and everything, and I devoured it. So, I mean.
Oh, yes.
I would say if you haven't read like Cozy Mysteries, maybe that's what you need, because it has like cozy mysteries.
Yeah. But are they like Hallmark cheesiness?
No, I don't think so. I mean, okay, so I've only read like 2 and they're a part of the same series, but they're like thrillers, but more mystery than thriller, but light. Like nothing like gruesome happens. There's no like, killing. There's none of that. It's just more like surface level sleuth. I mean, the ones I've read, and I've only read 2. So like,
Yeah. I would say like Pumpkinheads, like graphic novels, I feel like are kind of cozy.
Okay, then I would say the Heartstopper series. I really loved that one.
Yeah, Heartstopper is cozy. Yeah.
Okay, look at me reading 2 cozy books.
Debbie Tongue has really good graphic novels that I think are both fun and then kind of cozy, like A Quiet Girl in a Noisy
just the
World.
book one, the book club or something.
Yeah. Deja said some cozy mysteries are cheesy, but that's usually the point.
A lot of them aren't though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I can't even do like a Hallmark Christmas movie without like, I don't know. Maybe I'll give them a try.
And Monica says the Maidens gave her a cozy feeling.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That just gives me another reason to get rid of it.
I can get on board.
I think anything like isolated setting makes me feel cozy.
No Exit does not give me a cozy feeling.
No, like the guest list, the hunting party, 1 by 1, things like that.
Okay.
Okay, let me go to the top and I'm going to start. I still have some that people sent in, but we're going to do live recommendations next. Okay, let's start. Regina watches your channel a lot, Marcy. She's a huge fan. She's one of my personal friends. And she, number one, wants you to know her name by the end of the live show.
Hi, Regina.
And she wants horror recs because she loves horror books and she's looking for more.
Okay.
So.
Are we looking for like extreme horror? I mean, I have a few here that aren't extreme, but I have a few that are pretty extreme, and I feel kind of weird talking about them. But if you want them, I will give them to you.
Yeah, let's start with beginner and then we'll go to the extreme. I think someone else had asked for like short horror stories.
Okay.
I think I passed a comment, but I really want beginner horror recs, so we'll start easy and then we'll go hard.
Okay.
You said.
Okay, I have 3 here. Well, I have 2 because this one's pretty gruesome. But one that now that we're in the summer, it's pretty. I love summer horror. It's some of my favorites, and one of them is Savages. I've talked about this one on my channel, so it's probably nothing new to Regina. But it's pretty easy to follow, and it's short too. I think it sits at like 260 pages. And here we have like a deserted island. Some people get washed up. They're like on this vacation and there's like a storm and they're washed up onto this. It's an unmarked island. So it's on nobody's maps or anything. And there's like scary stuff happening there. Another one that is, it's a little short one and it's pretty easy to read. And I would consider it cozy because it takes place in the wintertime, is Beneath Ash and Bone by D. Alexander Ward. This is, it's very simple to read. It's not too gruesome. It's very cold. I really love winter horror as well. It just makes you feel some kind of way.
I didn't know that was like a thing, like a winter horror.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so this one, there's a dead boy, and it was like his birthday party, and they find him dead outside, and they're trying to figure out how he died, and like it's this whole mystery. But it's such a quick read that I feel like it's really good for beginner horror, and it's not too like bloody or anything.
What's the name of that one again?
Beneath Ash and Bone.
Okay.
Let me see, what else do I have? I mean, I have like some crazy horror here.
Yeah, she said I need the gory, dirty, nasty horror.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 3. I'm gonna give you 3 right now. That was just like Merciless by Brian Smith. This here is so good. It's this couple, they're going on their honeymoon. And so they're like, it's like traveling honeymoon, but their last stop is going to be this cabin that the husband owns. And they know nobody's going to be there. And his gift to her, what she wants to do is she wants to just murder somebody. She wants to mutilate some, and he's going to give it to her. And shit goes wrong, obviously. Oops, sorry. Because yeah, everything goes wrong. Somebody ends up showing up at the cabin that's like his family member, and it gets bad. I mean, I'm talking. One thing I am going to mention though, there is like baby death in here. So if you're sensitive to that, then I would stay away from it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Shut up.
Okay.
That's the warning bells for this book. Another one, Christopher Triana is a favorite of mine. I just recently started falling in love with him, and he has some crazy books. One of them is Gone to See the Riverman. That's the first one that I read from him. And it's a little bit of a crazy book, but it is pretty graphic. And it's just this journey. This woman is pen pals with this serial killer in jail, and he's asking her to do something for her. She needs to go retrieve something in this cabin and go take it to the Riverman. And this journey is just insane. She gets it done, and she's in a way trying to get with him, trying to be with him, which is insane to me. And the ending is just crazy. And a recent one that I read from him was Night Stalkers, and it's co-written with somebody else, but I find it so original because it all takes place in two grocery stores. So like rival grocery stores. But one of the grocery stores is like, they are like demonic worshipers, like demon worshipers, and they're going to go to the rival grocery store and they want to kill and slaughter all of those people. So that is like blood fest.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting concept though with the grocery stores, but that like makes it like almost spookier.
Yeah, it was so unique. And another thing that I love in that book too is that you have a lot of references to like 80s music and like videos and stuff. So I found that one pretty good.
That's cool.
Nice. I think she was loving that.
Loving this. Yeah. Patricia's like, I'm living for Marcy's library. She's like, sounds crazy AF. Regina's writing all these down. She loves it already. Mindfuck series by St. Abby is a recommendation. Horror RECS, The Girl from the Well.
I've heard of that one. I haven't read it. I've heard of it.
So Marcy is going to talk about King for half an hour.
No. I mean, I love King, and if you want something cozy, King is the way to go. But he's not for everybody. He's very long-winded and very descriptive. And if you're not into that, then I would stay away. But I love King.
All right, let me find the
I love King too, but like in small doses.
Yes.
I like some of the shorter books.
Have you tried The Patient by Jasper DeWitt? That one's really good, and it's under 300 pages.
Yeah, that's one on my list that I want to read.
And Night of the Mannequins, I think that's only like 90 pages or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I do really like short stories and short books because like The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, like I love that one.
Yes, that is like top tier.
Yeah,
Do you like short story collections, Jackie?
I'm not sure if I really like collections. I actually haven't read. I want to read Goblin and Paul Tremblay's. I forget what his short story collection is, but other than that, I've only read short stories like separately, like not in a collection. I don't think.
Worst Laid Plans is a really good one, and it's all about like vacations gone wrong, like summer vacations gone wrong, and it's really good. There's a couple in there that are my favorite.
Oh, that sounds super good, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
With Teeth is another one by Brian King. I think it's like 90 pages.
Isn't that the one you have, Jacqueline?
Yeah. Oh,
what?
Do you have that one with teeth?
Mm-mm.
Or what's the one with teeth you have?
Oh, something about the blackened teeth. That's the
okay.
Japanese.
I knew it had teeth in it.
With the shore, yes.
Yeah, that one is short. I haven't read it yet though. I'm reading it this month. So RECS for favorite translated fiction.
Confession.
I don't have any.
The only one that I have is the
Tender as the Flesh.
Tender as a Flesh. Yeah, that's it.
Anything Japanese horror, like I love that stuff. I can't remember the name of the author. Let me find it on my story graph. But they wrote Confessions and then a few others that are like feminist Japanese horror, and they're all translated.
Mm-hmm.
Kane Minato or Minoto.
I definitely do not read a lot of translated stuff. And when I do, it's not like a favorite. So
you know what? I did read a translated book. It was that German one. Because I've tried to read other translated ones and I didn't like it. And then I read The Perfect Child, right? That's what that's called. I can't find it on my Goodreads. But anyway.
The Perfect Child is the Lucinda Berry one.
Oh, sorry. It's called Dear Child. That's what it's called. Because it's like Room, but it's Dear Child. And it was actually written in German and then translated for the US and stuff. But yeah, so it came out in Germany like probably like a year and a half ago. And I think it only came out here like this spring, I think. But it was very, very good. It's almost like Room, but better in my opinion.
Another one that I have, it's a short story collection, though. It's called The Valancourt Book of World Horror Stories. And there's stories in here from everywhere: Romania, Denmark, Spain, Italy, Finland, Quebec. I mean, it's filled to the brim, and I found it a pretty good one. I usually don't like short story collections, but this one, I liked the majority of them. Whereas to usually I like 2 or 3 of them, but this one was pretty good.
Nice.
Okay, since we're on short stories, I would love some short horror, thriller, novella, short story books. So, The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn definitely is one. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I have a stack of them here I can go through real quick.
Okay.
So The Mud Ballad by Joe Quinnell. This is one that it's pretty gross. It's about a conjoined twin that him and his conjoined twin wanted to have like separation surgery. And then the doctor wouldn't do that. And so then he kills his twin so that they have to be separated.
Oh, gosh.
And it takes place in this like dying railroad town. And it's a little bit of black magic and stuff like that as well. There's also this weird pig farm. The Goners by L. Stevenson. This is about, it was hard to get into at first, but it's told in like kind of alternating chapters. In one chapter, you're seeing the person being abducted. And then in the second chapter of that, it's kind of out of order though. The second part, you're seeing these paramedics kind of go to where these people are. They think they're being called in for a body, but then they find them alive. But then like weird things happen. Another one is 17 Names for Skin by Roland Blackburn. This one is about this body piercer girl that she's diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And her father is like really, really sick. He's in a wheelchair and he depends on her financially. So she decides to hire like a dark web assassin to take her out because that way she'll get a double payout on the insurance that will go to her father and help her out. But in the meantime, the killer doesn't come after her right away when she's expecting, but she gets attacked. And that puts like this curse on her and she starts like turning into these other like animal beings and stuff like that. So her and her friend like team up to try to find out like what's going on, how's this happening, to stop it from happening and stuff like that. And then She Who Rules the Dead by Maria Abrams. This is about a man that has killed 4 people and he has kidnapped his 5th. And he needs to sacrifice 5 people to the demon that's been talking to him in his nightmares. He already has 4, and number 5, Claire, is currently bound in the back of his van. Too bad Claire isn't exactly human. That's what the back of that one says. And then the last one, you were talking about like short story collections, Beneath a Pale Sky. This is one that I got my Nightworms box. I don't know how to say the author's last name, but it's Philip Fracasia. And that has a bunch of short stories in it. And then, of course, the one that everybody was already talking about is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
The one with the sky looks really pretty.
Yeah, I have that one here and I'm dying to read it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a reading vlog coming talking about all of these books really soon, so you'll hear my thoughts.
Yay. I want to piggyback off of the cat lady. She says The Boy in the Woods. I was going to mention that one as well. That one is phenomenal. It's really, I think it's like 90 something pages as well. And it's so good.
That's by Josh Mallerman, right?
No, it is by Scott Thomas. The same guy that wrote Kill Creek.
Yeah, Kill Creek. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is kind of a short book, but I'm thinking of Ending Things. It's like 210 pages, but the font is like ginormous.
I love that book.
And it's a Netflix movie. I don't recommend the movie, but
same.
Some authors, no specific books because they're all pretty good, but Chad Lutzke is one that is, I mean, if you want that the feels kind of horror, he is the one to read. I promise you, you will cry at least with 2 of his books. But another one is Keelan Patrick Burke. He has The House on Abigail Street. That one's really good as well, and it's short, and he has a bunch of novellas as well.
Nice.
A good thriller one that I recently read is Looker by Laura Sims. It's not as like action-packed thriller. It's more of like a quiet lady going crazy thriller. And she does have an obsession with another like woman that lives on her block, but that's like such a small part of it. But that's what they advertise, you know, in the synopsis and stuff like that. The Test, that's another really short novella.
I love
what's the name of that author?
Sylvan Newell.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I really like that one. I also like My Sister the Serial Killer.
Oh yeah,
that one's pretty short. I look and see what other ones I have. I feel like they should write more shorter thrillers, because like that one that me and Jessie just read, the arrangement, like it was 222 pages, and like that was a perfect length.
Yes.
Like it was just so incredibly good because there wasn't all this like stuff that you didn't need to know about. It was just constantly like entertaining.
A lot of people like Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam. Moon of the Crusted Snow, that's like an indigenous author, an indigenous story. Yeah.
I'm also reading Just Married, like currently reading. It's by the same author as The Arrangement, and it's only like 212 pages. And it's pretty good so far. I think I like The Arrangement better, but I really like it.
I really like that her books are short like that.
Yeah. And then I got the other one by her, The Missing, which is about people stuck on an island.
Yeah, I want to get that one.
Yeah. And this one's like, I think this one's right over 300.
Those things read so easy, though. I just love like island kind of novels.
Oh, yeah. 291, excuse me.
Yeah.
Another short horror one is Remains by Andrew Cull, and this has to do with grief. A mother loses her son in a really gruesome way, and it's really, really, really good. And another one is Dear Laura by Gemma Amor. Oh my gosh, that one is...
Oh, I've heard good things about that one.
So good, so short, quick have
Yeah, I've had that one written down. Another one is Pretty Stolen Dolls. It's probably not like anything you're thinking. It has a lot of trigger warnings. So just definitely do your own research on that one. But it's more like a suspense, kidnapping, you know, underage girl type thing. So that one was pretty intense.
Another short one is It by Stephen King. I mean, it's so short.
Shortest one ever.
The one called BS.
No, I had gone like probably a year or so ago. I was in Target and they had it, and it was like sitting like, so the cover, you just see the cover, and I like pulled it out, and I was like,
did you lose an arm?
It was so huge. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I've never saw this book in real life. But
it's a thick one, boy.
Yeah, and I was like, nope, never reading that. Put it back.
Matt, the page turner, said Brittany King, it has really good short thrillers, and they're usually between 2 and 250 pages.
Oh, I'll write that down.
Nice. I
also said Molly Southbourne. I think it's The Murders of Molly Southbourne. Books and Lala gave that, I think, 5 stars last year. And that's a novella.
I really like The House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Miller.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like it and some people do. It's just kind of like
every summer.
Yeah.
I read it and it made me feel like I was drowning half the time.
Yeah.
So.
The like claustrophobia, like going through the I was like, no. All right. Books that have an unpredictable plot twist. What me and Jessie just read, The Arrangement.
Yes.
By Kirsten Modglin.
That was like piles and piles and piles.
So many.
I know. I was Marco Poloing Jacqueline. I was like, this just happened. Can you believe that? And she's like, yeah, I read the book.
It was just funny because you were like, okay, I think this is what's going to happen. And I was like, you can try all you're want.
I would say The Silent Patient, like that one always shocks me because like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Anything from Jennifer Hillier, like her every single twist. I don't think I've predicted one twist in any of her books.
Yeah. I think I've only read, oh my gosh, Jar of Hearts and Little Secrets.
The Butcher.
Oh yeah, you talk about that all the time.
I literally bought this because you keep talking about it. So.
It's so good. I don't see it anywhere. Like the only way that I could find it was like a weird random seller on Amazon. Like it wasn't even Amazon. It was like a seller. And I was like, you know what? I'll take a chance on this $5 Jennifer Hillier mass market paperback. And it's one of the best thrillers I've ever read to this day. Like I did not see the killer coming in any way, shape, or form.
I also have Creep by Jennifer Hillier too. I haven't read it though, but it's on my list.
That's on my list too.
I have a few by Jennifer Hillier, but I haven't read her yet. I'm going to write down The Butcher.
I could only find it in mass market paperback though.
Same.
It's the only thing. And I hate mass market paperbacks, but
Are those hard to, is that book hard to find?
Yeah.
I got mine off second sale.
Okay.
So plot twist coming. Oh, I talk about this one a lot, but Mr. Perfect by Linda Howard. This one's really, really good. It's got a little bit of romance in it too, but this one will literally shock you. So definitely check that one out.
I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. That twist, like right in the middle, I loved. And what's the name of that other one? It's like the one that everybody talks about with the big twist. Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pembroke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one.
Me either. It was just okay.
Oh my God, I love
I liked it.
I'm like in the minority. I know I own it, but like I would never, I just don't. Okay. So like the twist, I don't like that. And like other books either. So,
yeah,
but would not see that coming. Highly recommend if you want something that's blindsiding.
Yeah. I mean, it was very shocking, like to me. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
And I liked the twist of it. But it was just something, it wasn't even the twist that I didn't like, because I liked that part, but somewhere it was just like a little bit, it fell flat for me at some portion of it.
Speaking of Blindsided by Karen Slaughter is incredible. It's very dark.
I had rated it.
So look up the trigger warnings, but it's very unpredictable.
Oh, and Lenny loves John Mars so much. That's like her favorite author.
The Good Samaritan, I just read that one, and that really took me by surprise because I don't like a lot of his domestic thrillers.
Yeah. I've just read one of his books, so I can't talk too much about it.
I like the sci-fi ones. The domestic ones are really slow. So if you like a slow burn or you want to be invested in the characters, that's great. But I'm kind of looking for like a quick and dirty, lots of twists.
I'm trying to think of other books that have a big plot twist. I can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I also think like I think that sometimes plot twists are just different for everybody, because I know there's been books where I couldn't guess the plot twist and other people were like, oh, that was so predictable, or vice versa. So I feel like it's hard to know like what would throw off everyone.
Yeah. And also it depends if you read the synopsis, because I have stopped reading the synopsis. I read like the top little bit just to get an idea. Unless it's an auto-buy author, then I just like buy their book. But yeah, because some of the things that they don't consider like a twist, I do. Like you find out that someone dies, but you know, you find that out in the synopsis, but I didn't know they were going to die, obviously. So
yeah.
I feel like The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, which I know is like really popular, like on TikTok and everything. I think it had a really good plot twist at the end. I mean, she literally makes you wait till the end to know, but
right, that drove me nuts. I was just flying through that book because I had to know.
Love that one.
People are saying Verity. I would definitely agree with that, as well as Layla. That was
both of those were crazy.
Give me 1 second.
Wedding romance books. I don't know if we'll have many of this.
Sarah Hogle. I think that's like a best man romance. She like cancels the wedding and goes for the best man. And then Worst Best Man. I don't know who the author is, but those both take place at least they start at a wedding. I don't know if that
The guest list, that starts at a wedding.
There you go.
Someone had said The Bride Quartet by Nora Roberts.
Also, Layla starts at a wedding as well.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that because it's so short.
Yeah, I didn't
and
remember
it's so distracting because there's so much stuff going on and you don't know the answers to that one.
So for wedding recommendations, Jasmine Guillory, she has like The Wedding Date, which is where like two people meet on an elevator and he's going to a wedding. So he asks her to be the date to the wedding. And in that same series, or it's kind of like a standalone series, they have, what's the other one called? I forgot. The Wedding Party. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know, Gwen, you'll have a lot of recommendations probably for this one. It shows up.
Yeah, I'd have to like
poetry books. There we go. I think my Wi-Fi is going in and out because there's like a storm here right now.
Nice. For poetry, there is another booktuber or author tuber. I don't know what that side of YouTube is, but her name is Katie Wismer. But she has The Sweetest Kind of Poison, and then she's also got Poems for the End of the World. I think those are her only two poetry books, but I really enjoyed them. Super short, very modern poetry. So I check her out. But she also writes like other books, like she's working on like kind of like a fantasy vampire book right now. And then she also wrote a romance book recently.
So some poetry recommendations that I have. Courtney Peppernell wrote Pillow Thoughts, and there's a whole bunch of them. I have like 1 and 2 right here, but I have like 3 and 4 in the other room. So Courtney Peppernell for sure. Let's see. Obviously Amanda Lovelace. I have like a whole bunch of hers right here. So The Princess Saves Herself in this one. That's a trilogy that comes with The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, The Mermaid's Voice Returns, and then another, I think it's probably going to be a trilogy, is Break Your Glass Slippers, and then some of her like older ones, To Drink Coffee with a Ghost, and To Make Monsters Out of Girls. So Amanda Lovelace is really good. Another favorite poet of mine is Alicia Cook. This is the only one I have in this basket, but I have more of hers in the other room. Jen Campbell, she's actually a booktuber. She wrote The Girl Aquarium. And I won't say that this poetry was like my all-time favorite, but the writing was so interesting. Like you could hear the like you could hear the people talking in this, like just the way, like their accents and stuff like that. I was just like, I didn't even know people could write that well, that you can like hear the people come off the page. It was so interesting. Veronica Tugalevi, The Shades of Missing You. She also has a new one that just came out that I haven't read yet. Sabrina Rourke, she's a friend of mine, but she was also like a booktuber back in the day. Mystic and Mundane, that's really cool. R.H. Sin, obviously, I have Planting Gardens and Graves and like volume 1 and volume 2. I have a bunch, guys. Let's see. This one was good. Hummingbird by Sophie Elaine Hansen. Dirty Pretty Things by Michael Faudet. I'm like getting covered by books. Bright Minds, Empty Souls. I have a whole bunch of poetry videos on my channel, so just go check those out because there's a bunch. Oh, but let me show you this one. This one, I don't know if you can find this one, but if you can, like, please snag it if you love poetry. It's called Hi Lady and Other Random Thoughts by Max Smith. And I randomly, like, I knew nothing about this poet, author, nothing about this poetry collection. I got it at the book exchange and I just picked it up because I was like, oh, cool, a poetry collection. Let me try it. And it's so good. It's like, but it's like old because like here's the author photo.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So it's like super old, and he actually like signed to somebody and stuff like that. But this is from 1973, and so you're probably not going to be able to find it. But if you can, you know, there's a recommendation. Go hunting for some poetry. I don't know, but I like more modern poetry than like classical poetry and stuff like that. So if you like modern poetry, that's what I recommended.
Okay, RECS for someone new to romance. I always read fantasy and sci-fi, but want to try new things. Maybe some plots that aren't cheesy, but filled with drama.
K.A. Tucker writes a lot of like thrilling romance books. So if you want to like stay something that's a little bit more action-packed, but also dip your toe into the romance, I liked He Will Be My Ruin. It's about a girl who her best friend just committed suicide, or so the police say, and she goes back and starts like digging into her past to try to prove that she was actually murdered. And along the way, she's like meeting the men that her best friend was involved with and getting involved with them. So it's very dramatic.
It depends like what you would like in romance, and you probably don't know. So I would just say if you try something and you don't like it, like definitely try something else, because just like with fantasy and sci-fi, there's different like subgenres and stuff like that. I would say like Brittany C. Cherry, Eleanor and Gray is a really good recommendation. It's super emotional and like it does have a lot of drama in there, and it really brings out the emotions.
I feel like Beach Read is really, really good, and it's not cheesy, but it's cozy. So I'm also a big fan of, Colleen Hoover. Love that one. I would say All Your Perfects, November 9, Verity is suspense romance, thriller romance, I guess you can say. But there are some cheesy ones that she has. Like I would say like Heartbones is really cheesy. I personally did not like It Ends With Us. I feel like that one was, I know. It's all of the Ellen references. I was like eye rolling the entire time. And I was like, and then the epilogue, I was like, absolutely not. You just dropped a 1.5 on stars.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I was rolling my eyes at the Ellen stuff.
Like,
now that all the stuff has come out about Ellen, I'm like, wow, this aged like milk. Like,
yeah.
One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid is a good one.
Oh,
Love in Other Words
great.
by Christina Lauren is a good one, like for second chance romance.
If you want what's filled with drama, I would recommend All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood, because that is definitely drama at its finest, especially because even in real life, like people like the book, and then some people don't agree with it because it's about a younger girl, like 14, falling in love with an older guy that's like 24, maybe even older than that. I forget. But it's not done the way that people think it is. It's done a lot better than that, but just make sure you look it up before you go into it. But that one's definitely drama filled.
After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, it's about a married couple that they're just getting into those like petty fights that they always get into, and they decide to take a year break from each other and then like kind of do what they want to do and rediscover themselves and come back together, you know, after a year and check in if they want to continue, you know, being married or if they want to separate.
Romance
Also, because you said, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jessie.
I was just gonna say the Bromance Book Club is really good. I feel like it's more comedy, but I don't feel like it's cheesy though. But
Yeah.
it does have like topics like saving a marriage and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Because you like sci-fi, Una Out of Order, it's not like essentially romance, but it does have that like sci-fi time travel element, and it has just really, really good like relationships in general, not just romance relationships, and I love that book. So it's about like this girl who lives her life out of order. So like she'll wake up, she'll like live in a year, I don't know, 2020, and then like she'll wake up the next year and it's like 1970 or whatever. And so it's very like different, interesting, but the characters are just so good in it.
I feel like there's another romance I read this year and I cannot remember it.
I also really like Cruel Beautiful World by Caroline Leavitt, which is also it's like slightly romance, but also like kind of thriller-ish as well, with some historical fiction in it, and it kind of has that like age gap taboo where like a younger girl runs away with her teacher, but it turns out that like he's not that great of a person. But it's also following like multiple different characters in their timeline, so it's like we have that younger couple, but then we also have like an older couple, and I really love like the older couple's relationship. So that one is good with like a little bit of drama and just if you're coming in new into romance.
Another one is if you're looking for like a male romance, Red, White, and Royal Blue, because like you have the son of the First Lady of the United States, the president, and you have like a prince from another country and stuff like that. And there's like a political thing going on and voting going on, and they're trying to hide their relationship, but it's also like so soft.
Yeah.
I know The Unhoneymooners is really popular, but I think Shipped by Angie Hockman was better, in my opinion. I mentioned this author, Katie Wismer, but she wrote The Anti-Relationship Year, and it's a new adult college romance, and it's like friends to lovers. And then also, I would say the one I just read, which was You Had Me at Ola. So if you like Jane the Virgin, the show, I think you would really like that one.
I also liked Float Plan by Trish Dollar because it's about a woman that her husband had committed suicide, but she still goes on this like sailboating like trip that they had planned, and she meets another guy during that process, and so it like deals with grief and stuff like that.
I think I have a problem where I just like age gap romances. It's like if that's not in the synopsis, I'm like, meh.
Well, you should ask. So, any age gap romance, recommend them to Jackie in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one on my shelf. I have Torn that I need to read. That hopefully I can put that in for next month. Hopefully, but yeah, like the idea of you age gap romance, love it. Like that's my favorite.
I like age gap too.
Love it.
I don't read a lot of romance, but like the ones that I like are usually Emily Henry's romances. I loved The Unhoneymooners, and I have a bunch of this. Like I have Float Planned and Shipped that Gwen talked about. I'm dying to read those this summer.
One Last Stop also has fantasy elements like that. It's more like magical realism, but it's a female romance by Casey McQuiston. I really enjoyed that one.
Sorry, I'm like losing all the comments here. I'm trying to find where we're at.
I haven't personally read it, but maybe what's it called? The Addie LaRue book.
Oh yeah, Invisible.
That has like fantasy, sci-fi, because it's like
The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It's like she can't die. She has like an immortal life, right? Or no, excuse me. Yeah, she can do that, but like the moment she like leaves, like everyone forgets her too, and then someone remembers her. So that could be a little more sci-fi fantasy.
Okay, here we go. I found one. I would love creepy kid book RECS, The Perfect Child, Baby Teeth. We need to talk about Kevin. Oh my gosh, I need to read. We need to talk about Kevin. I've been wanting to read that for like years. I would say The Push is.
Yeah, we said that in the comments.
Actually, I think there's one more that has a creepy kid, but The Push has that same type of vibe of both The Perfect Child and Baby Teeth, but it deals more with postpartum depression too. Let me look up that other one.
Yeah, The Push was one of my favorite books of the year so far. I love that book, but I haven't read the other ones.
Oh, The Perfect Child is really good. I heard it's getting a sequel, and I don't understand why, because it's fine the way it is, but oh well. But I would recommend that one, or anything by Lucinda Berry, but that one definitely has that creepy kid to it.
Gosh, I'm trying to find that other one that's like so similar to that.
Oh, I've heard bad things about Baby Teeth, so maybe not that one.
Yeah, that one's not as great as The Perfect Child.
I feel like Then She Was Gone kind of works for this one. There's a weird storyline with a child.
Very true.
Haven't read that.
Literally can't find the other one that I read. Oh well.
Sharp Objects. It's not like a kid. It's more like a teenager, but
yeah.
The Lies We Told by Camila Way.
That's the one that I was looking for.
Yeah.
It has a purple cover, right?
Yeah. I had it from Book of the Month, but I got rid of it.
Yeah, that's the one that I actually read that one first before I read any of the others. Then I read Baby Teeth. Then I read The Perfect Child. Then I read The Push. So, but those are the only ones that I know that have that same type of theme.
Has anyone read that book, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson? Does that one have creepy kids?
No.
It has kids on the cover. It's that like black and white cover.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's more about
okay.
I think it's sisters. But they're not young. If okay. I'm thinking of the right book.
Did we say The Grown Up? Because that has a creepy kid in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one does.
And Night of the Mannequins is like all about creepy kids.
And The Shining, obviously. I haven't read it though.
Yeah, I haven't. I even DNF'd the movie.
Yeah, I don't like The Shining too much.
Okay. I know that other people ask for thriller romance, and then Hannah's asking for suspense romance. To me, The Arrangement by Kirsten Modglin is like a thriller romance in my opinion, because it involves like a married couple dating, cheating, like so much of it was like a drama-filled romance book, but also with like murder and really dark things in it. So that one is definitely. And then Hailey had already said about like He Will Be My Ruin is like thriller, suspense, romance too.
K.A. Tucker has a ton of dark romance. He Will Be My Ruin is the only one that I've read, but all of hers are on my TBR.
I would also say The Arrangement by, oh my gosh, Robin Harding.
Oh yeah, that one too.
I mean, it's not that much romance, but it's about a woman who's short on cash, and she kind of gets into the sugar daddy, sugar baby dating scene, and then then it turns into a thriller. So,
And Verity,
romance you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I think the swap too is pretty. I wouldn't say romantic, more like obsession and infatuation, but
yes,
drama filled, very thrilling.
And also that Mr. Perfect that you talked about earlier, Jessie.
That one, and then there's another one that she wrote. It's called To Die For. That one's really thriller suspense with some hot steamy romance involved too. So I would also say Verity, but also Too Late by Colleen Hoover. I've mentioned
Too Late is one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, Too Late's kind of dark, so definitely check it out because there are some trigger warnings, but it's a dark romance.
Yeah.
And I'll shout out the Girl in 6E series. That is like my favorite series ever. And I hate reading series. So the fact that it sucked me in, like the second book is my favorite. I would say even if you don't like the first one, read the second one. It's about a cam girl and she is a sociopath. So she locks herself in her apartment and just cams away and doesn't let herself out so she can't kill people. And so she meets the UPS man that's delivering all her packages because she can't leave, and they strike up a romance. And he's also like helping her not kill people, but obviously that doesn't work out. Somebody said The One too. I was surprised with the amount of romance in that one.
That's true. Yeah.
I haven't read that one.
You still haven't read The One by John Mars?
No, I have it. I just haven't read it.
I was going to say, I thought you were like reading it like a month or two ago.
No, I was going to, but I never got around to it.
Oh, wow.
Story of our lives.
Too many books, so little time.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Congrats on that one.
I feel like if
you
say
everything that I'm writing down is just going on my like Goodreads list for when I buy books after I read the ones I currently have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thank you. That's going on my 2023 TBR.
That's a long time.
Yeah, well, because I'm currently reading all of the books that I already own because anytime I get new books, like I just had a problem. I was like, I don't know what to read now because I have this new book. I have this old book. Like, even like Hailey keeps talking about The Butcher. And I was like, oh, okay, I want to read that, but I don't have it. So then I need to get it. And like, it's just a problem all the time. So I was like, I'm just going to read through everything I have. And then I'll have a list so that way I can replenish my shelves later. And then I'll be like, oh, cool, I can read this right away because I have nothing else to read.
I love that idea. I just have no self-control to
me either.
It's going really well. I actually feel like way more accomplished with my TBR this month because I like set my TBR. I made sure there was a whole bunch of different genres on it, and I've been going through it like really well. And I'm like, wow, this actually feels really good. I don't feel like pressured or like clueless as to what to read. So I'm really liking it. I mean, it's definitely not for everybody, but it works for me really well. So
that's so awesome. I wish I could do that. I probably have like 3 years worth of books to read here, and I need to slow down with my buying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I felt very overwhelmed. Like I have a whole shelf of books. And even when I was like first trying to pick out my August TBR, because this is like the first month I'm reading off of it, I was like, okay, I need to like do like random prompts or like change it up every month or whatever, because I was like, I still don't know what to pick. Like, it's just so overwhelming, you know, because you have a bunch of video ideas you want to do. Like, it's just really hard. So I do have a couple like different prompts that I'm doing every single month. And then I'm like focusing on like a couple video ideas that I want to do. And then that's how my TBR goes together. And so I'm like, okay, I have a plan.
And I love that you're like saving the money from like when you sell them and stuff like that to help replenish your shelf. I think that's such a great neat idea.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'll probably do, because a lot of times like I'll swap for things that I really want, and then I'll like sell other books. So either or, whether I swap or whether I can buy them. But I'm really excited. That's why I'm keeping my list going. So that way I can then like swap for books that I actually know I'm interested in, that I want to add in my shelf after I'm done reading them all. So, but yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. I have an online book club on Facebook. And when my video went out about me doing this, I'm calling it like the Reading to Zero challenge. I was surprised at how many other people were like, oh, actually, I'm going to do it with you. So I actually have like a bunch of people doing it, which is really awesome. Cool too, because then we can all relate to like, you know, what's going on.
You're on a journey.
Yes. All right, let me.
Well, I'm excited to announce that our AC is now back on. So
yay.
That's why I kept going off there, because my husband was like, "It's on. Shut the windows." Yeah, I was like, of course this would happen when I have a live show. So that's why I like look really gross and sweaty, but I'm committed to be on the show though. But
all right, let me look for more comments. I'm trying to catch up to the comments because I keep missing all the chat because I'm like still on a comment that's like super far up. Okay. Pam's just having a whole conversation in here.
Oh, Pam.
Oh, she said, for romantic suspense, if you're into MC books at all, I liked It Ain't Me Babe by Tilly Cole. Saved from a Cult by the Biker. Whoa.
On her list.
That was crazy.
Did you say cult? Okay. Actually, I'm like known for that so much. It's almost like as soon as someone finds a cult book, they're like DMing it to me or whatever. I probably have like 30 cult books to read now.
It's your brand now.
It is, yeah. Like you guys have a book brand. I guess I have like a genre brand or something. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me go back to where I had the other things that people had sent in. Okay, so a book like The Roanoke Girls. Have you guys read that book?
I just bought it.
You guys haven't?
No, but I have it.
It's really good though. It's one, I personally feel like it was one of those books where like you knew what was happening, but it hadn't been explained what was really happening.
Yes.
Oh,
so
and I
like this is really happening, and then finally it's like, oh crap, this is really happening. So as far as like what was happening, I really don't have anything similar to.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of similar to those would be like memoirs that I've read. I don't know if I've read any other fiction books that involved that. So actually, okay, so one fiction type book, I would also put it in like the cult-ish area, is Gather the Daughters. And that definitely has, I can't really say like what Roanoke Girls is about, because then it's kind of like taking away your reading experience, but it has that same element, theme to it, that dark, very dark, bad thing. But it's also like kind of a cult, because it's like The Village, like, you know, that movie by M. Night Shyamalan, The Village. It's kind of like that, but in book form, but like with different stuff in it. So I would say that that's pretty close to the Roanoke Girls. I would also say, let me look up some of those like memoir type books that kind of have that.
If you're looking for like another like cultish type book, if that's what you're looking for, I would say maybe When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. It's not my favorite by this author. I think it's just because The Perfect Child just set the bar really high, but this one's really good too.
I just read A Stolen Life, and that one is a true story, but it also kind of has that same storyline. I mean, very In the light of the sense, I should say. It's not the exact same.
And I don't know why, but Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. Like, it's not like very adamant that's what's in there, but like I kind of get those vibes from the guy's backstory in a way. So maybe that one. It's really messed up and there's a lot of triggers. So.
Oh, the Stillwater Girls also reminds me of The Village. That is a good one too. Yeah. I would also say The Sound of Gravel. It's still a memoir, but it's following that same theme. But other than that, I think those are all the ones that I have. But someone also asked for cult book recommendations. So what Jessie said with
when she
the
returned.
Lucinda Berry book, that one has been recommended as a cult book. I have a lot on my shelf that I haven't even gotten to yet.
The Project by Courtney Summers, I gave 1 star. But I know a lot of people give it 5 stars. I'm the unpopular opinion, so maybe you'll like it.
I loved The Project so much. I gave it 5 stars, but of course I would.
I know. So on the
Marcy's like me with the stars.
She's like, I'm out, guys.
I'll be honest though, like I have not heard any good things about The Project. Like Marcy, honestly, I think you're the only one I know that likes it.
I think so too, because every time I talk about it, it's like, ew. I mean, I ate that book in like hours. I don't know what it was.
Wow. I was in a discussion and like everyone was raving about it. So I felt like so bad saying like, I hated this book.
I haven't personally read it, but I know Gwen did a taste test on Chevy Stevens. I keep throwing this author out there, but Always Watching, I think has isn't that the one with the cult?
Yeah, it does. It's like she has a lady patient that she's like working with, and she mentions this guy, and then the doctor that's like talking to the patient's like, oh, I remember him. He's from this like almost like a commune or something like that. I'm like, oh, it has cult vibes.
Yeah. So,
but I only read the first chapter, guys. So
I mean, I've loved everything by this author, so I'm sure it's good. But I think that one's gonna be my next Chevy Stevens pick.
The Girls by Emma Cline kind of has cult vibes a little bit.
Would you say Bunny?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hated it, but
yeah,
it has cult stuff. No, that book, like I like weird, but that was just like too freaking weird. That was just like, is this English? Like I just don't understand what's happening.
I felt the same way. I actually DNF'd it, and I barely DNF books, but I just couldn't go with that one. I didn't understand it. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Jacqueline still has it on her TBR. I got her TBR, so
we need to do a spoiler vlog on that one because I need to know your.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked for it to be a spoiler vlog.
Yeah. Like
I don't know. I'll have to see if I'm brave enough because I might just read a couple pages and be like, nah, DNF.
I mean, I think it like draws you in, but like once you start getting answers of like what's happened, like I recommend not listening to the audiobook because it's creepy as crap. So like they like talk high pitched and stuff like that. Like no, but I told my coworkers because they were excited about that book, and I was like, yeah, no, that's like 0 stars for me. And I told them like what it was because they wanted to know, and they're like, oh no, thank God, no.
Oh man.
So one that I haven't. Oh, go ahead, Marcy.
It really does have the ambiance, like it's really atmospheric and stuff.
Eerie, yeah. It's just freaking weird. Like, like who comes up with that?
Well, Mona Awad, apparently.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I know. And that's the only book I've read by her, so I'm scared to pick up her All Is Well.
Oh, I want to read All's Well so bad.
I'm like waiting for it.
I mean, her writing is like really, really smart, and she has like a really like good vocabulary, and I don't know, but yeah, it was just weird. So one I haven't read that's kind of cultish, it's called The Marriage Pact by Michelle Richmond, and it's about a young couple deciding to join an exclusive and mysterious group known as the Pact, and they discover, that the Pact will go to any lengths to enforce the rules.
I have that on my TBR.
Sounds interesting.
I think I've
had it on there for a while though.
One that I'm going to piggyback off of Eleni because I read this one with her. It's The Line Between by Tosca Lee. It's a really good cult story that, I flew through that one as well.
Yeah, the one that she said, Agnes at the End of the World. I haven't read it yet, and I own it, but I let my sister borrow it first, and she said it was good because it was like end of the world, cultish. She thinks that I'll like it. So
that's the one.
I own that one too, and I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I think it's young adult though. My favorite cult book, I think, of all time is Member of the Family, which is the story of Charles Manson. It's literally like a memoir, from one of the girls that was part of the cult that was 14. And so it was so interesting. And I think that was the book that really got me into, oh my gosh, I absolutely love books about cults, especially when they're real.
Yeah.
She even explains when you're listening to her talk, you're well, why would you follow? Why would you do this? And she kind of explains what it's like to kind of be in a cult without realizing you're in a cult. It's a really slippery slope. And so I really, really, really love that book.
I have that one here and I'm going to bump it up. I'm going to bump it up on my TBR because I've owned it for years. And then I heard you talking about it. Oh my gosh, I have so many books here that I need to read.
I know what that feels like.
And I'm adding more now.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want super light cult, Every Value Break by Peter Swanson has a vibe to it.
I wish there was more in that book though.
Go ahead. What?
I just wish there was more in that book.
Yeah. It's survival, love, that type of thing.
Yeah.
If you want another nonfiction cult, I think Shirley said I'm interested in nonfiction cult books too. So The Sound of Gravel is also one of my favorites of the year. This one is specifically about polygamy and what it was like for a child to grow up in a polygamous household. Super crazy. I literally cried during parts because there was actually pictures. And it's a very sad story. So
you're giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, it was. I love that book. It's so good.
So there's one. It's called Children of Paradise by Fred D. something, and it's a reimagining of Jonestown. It actually sounds really, really good. But The Road to Jonestown, Jim Jones and People's Temple. Anything about Jonestown, there's so many books.
Yeah.
Or memoirs from people that have been in cults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many, even just polygamy cult book, nonfiction ones that I haven't read yet that I've been wanting to get to. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Heaven's Gate is one by Benjamin E. Zeller that's about that cult.
Pam said Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson is a decent cult book. Not great, but decent.
Yeah, I have that on my shelf. I think it's about a commune where they help raise each other's children. I kind of read something similar to that called The Farm, but it was more literary fiction, and it was actually really bad and boring. So I'm like worried about I'm worried about Perfect Little World. I don't think I really have any other recent cult books because I kind of had taken a break from them for a little bit, so that way I didn't get burnt out. But let's see.
Oh my god!
Vanessa said, "I'm in a cult." It's called Weepy Book.
I had to read that like 2 times when I first saw it. I was like, wait, what?
That's the name of my Facebook.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Hollywood Park. I did read that, but it wasn't as great as I thought it could be. Okay. Pam is going to ask for workplace romance books or even good contemporary workplace books.
The ones that I'll say, I don't know if you've read them or not, Pam. The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Shipped by Angie Hockman is actually a workplace romance, even though it is like on a cruise ship and stuff like that. And Teach Me by Olivia Dade. Also, The Trouble with Hating You, I think, is also by Sajni Patel, is also workplace romance.
Oh yeah, Pam, that's the book that I gave to Regina, and she just really liked reading it. The Trouble with Hating You. And yeah, she was like similar to The Hating Game or Attachments because those are like her favorite books of all time.
You had me at Ola because they're like on a movie set or a TV show set and they fall in love on camera and off camera. So maybe that one.
If I Never Met You by Vari McFarlane is like total hate to love fake dating in a work environment, like typical office setting, like The Hating Game.
That's true. Yeah, that one is, I really like that one actually.
Eleanor and Gray, because Eleanor is actually the nanny for Grayson. So he's like her boss.
Confess by Colleen Hoover. It's not like a traditional workplace, but the male love interest hires the female love interest to like help him in his art gallery, I guess.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren is also like an office.
I think The Boyfriend Project was also in an office too, but I can't remember because I read it a while ago.
And that series that's like First Comes Like. I think there's a few in that series, but it's about app developers.
I'm going through my Goodreads.
Yeah, Dating You.
Oh yeah, didn't you read that,
yeah.
Gwen?
Yeah. What is it called? Makeup Breakup.
It looks like Fuck Marriage by Taryn Fisher, which the cover of that is like so beautiful. I love that cover. Definitely shipped. Mixtape by Brittany C. Cherry. Brittany C. Cherry also has really great covers.
Oh, anything by Tessa Bailey. A lot of hers take place on like in a work relationship. Her new release, It Happened One Summer, is my favorite romance I've read in 2021. It's so good.
Wow.
It's like based off of Schitt's Creek. So if you like that show, you'll
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Character,
Okay.
the girl is, yeah.
What is the title of that again?
It Happened One Summer. And
okay.
If you like that, it's like hate to love in a workplace. They're like restoring her dad's bar. And her other one, like I think last year's release, was also hate to love in a workplace. And that one's called Tools of Engagement.
Oh yeah, I've seen the Tools of Engagement one. I can't wait till the hate to love trope is not popular anymore because I need better romance books.
Stop.
Like, oh, I think it was me.
You
and
can't
Gwen,
buy books for a year and a half, so we have another year and a half, okay? And we're going to be thriving for that year and a half.
Me and Gwen were talking, I think it was on the podcast, about how it was the love triangle was really popular. I think you said when you like came into BookTube,
and like
that was before I ever did. So I never got to like read all of those books and like, you know, get burnt out on them. But I love triangles. And then we were talking about how like hate to love is kind of like what is very popular nowadays, because people, I guess, didn't really like the love triangle back then. And I was like, well, that's how I feel about the hate to love trope now. I was like, come on, like, let's just get rid of it.
Do you have any romance that are love triangles? Because when I think of love triangle, I literally think of like Twilight and
One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Read it, then tell me you don't like love triangles.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were saying how that one's
all
like,
day, every day. I will always recommend that book. It is so freaking good.
Hard with that one.
So I would love to read it.
Good.
Take the vampires and werewolves out of the equation, and that's all I'd like to read. So
yeah.
So One True Love.
I actually haven't.
You have
read,
to read
like,
it, Jessie.
A huge amount of love triangles, and so like that's why I need to get more recs for those. But I guess because it's so many older books, like no one really talks about them anymore. So I feel like no one has those recommendations. It's always hate to love. But I really love like One True Loves, and even maybe in Another Life, I feel like it's kind of a love triangle because I love like not knowing who to choose or having a really hard time. Like I don't really like the love triangles where like obviously you have like a good guy and then a really bad guy, and then like you're like, why are you picking the bad guy? Like you're stupid. I like when it's like really hard for you to know who to pick. And that's what I feel like I get with like Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, where it's like who was the perfect person? You know what I mean? Like that's very hard to determine. So
Pam also said One Day in December. I haven't read it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that one is crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
It's drama central.
Oh, good. Okay. I will write that one down.
And she also said One True Loves is her favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid. So
yes,
yeah,
it is.
I want to buy it
now. It looks like I have recently. Oh, hey, Sarah. I didn't realize it was you at first. I really recently discovered the fact that I've never absolutely loved any domestic thriller that I've read. I need some good domestic thriller recs.
Ooh.
Okay, I feel like domestic thrillers kind of come in like different themes though. So like which domestic thrillers have you not loved? Like what don't you love about the ones that you've read? So that way we're not recommending you the same over and over again. Because my little sister also doesn't really like domestic thrillers. But I'm going to have her read The Arrangement that me and Jessie just read, because I feel like there was so much more going on, and it was like very original in its domestic thrillerness, with the whole like dating and cheating aspect. So I want to see if she likes that one.
And like, even though it's like domestic thriller, I feel like that's still such a broad group that there's so many like subgroups in that genre.
Yeah, and sometimes people like they hate the unreliable narrator, and I feel like that happens a lot in domestic thrillers. So maybe, Sarah, like you've only read domestic thrillers with unreliable narrator, and that's what you hate about them or something. So let us know what you do and don't like. Those are some of my favorites, though. I love domestic thrillers. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it's just the drama.
Yeah. Like Sherry Lapina, give me Sherry Lapina, give me Megan Miranda, like give me that trashy stuff all day.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Hailey,
how
it was
dare you say you hate The Perfect Marriage? Like, how dare you? Well, that's your first problem. You should love it.
It was because of you, Hailey, that I went and watched the new episodes of Love is Blind, because I saw your story about it yesterday, and I was like, that's perfect. That's what I'm in the mood for.
Oh my God.
So I went and finished that, and I was like, this is exactly what I want in my thriller books. Like, am I just domestic thrillers?
It was literally like a Robin Harding book, like just drama and relationships breaking down.
Yeah. when Damien brought that to the girl, I was like, "What is your problem?" I was like,
and he was so casual. He was like, "So y'all want a shot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess."
They were like tequila or lemon drop. I was like, "That's a big difference, okay? Like,
Yeah.
big difference right there."
I mean, tequila, obviously.
That's what they ended up going for. Oh my gosh! Now I'm like laughing so hard I'm crying now.
I'm trying to think.
Sarah must have left us. Sorry, Sarah.
No, she commented.
Oh, she did comment?
Yeah,
Oh,
she said The Couple Next Door, The Perfect Marriage, The Wife Between Us, hated them all.
Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry.
I would try British domestic thrillers. I find that I like UK thrillers.
Like Lisa Jewell.
Yeah.
Lisa Jewell, my queen.
I love her too. She's so good.
I liked Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. I felt it's about like a woman trying to find out what happened to her kidnapped son. And then there's drama as well. So I would check that one out.
I feel like because The Wife Between Us, like I didn't really love that either. And The Couple Next Door was like, that was one of the first thrillers that I kind of read to begin with. So I don't know what I would think about it now. But like my favorites are Behind Closed Doors. And then, I can't remember what the other one was.
I like The Last Mrs. Parrish.
That's the other one. Yeah. The Last Mrs. Parrish, which I think that you should try out those.
I really liked Into the Darkest Corner by Elizabeth Haynes. I don't hear a lot of people talking about that one. That one's very dark and it's a domestic thriller. Mm-hmm. And also The Neighbors.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard you talk about The Neighbors before.
I think I heard someone in chat earlier talking about that book.
Yeah. If you like amnesia domestic thriller, then Before I Go to Sleep, and that it was actually a movie too. So that one was pretty good. It's like imagine waking up every morning and not having your memory every single morning.
Sarah just said she hated Behind Closed Doors. I can't.
Oh my gosh.
She would probably like all the other B.A. Paris books because those are all bad. This is
those are all bad.
They're like the opposite of Behind Closed Doors.
Maybe domestic thrillers just aren't for you.
Yeah, maybe you don't like those kind.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of the ones that she mentioned, so I don't know if they compare to the ones that I recommended.
Yeah. The Secret She Keeps was really good. But she might hate that one too.
Oh, is that by Michael
Robotham? Yeah.
Yeah. That one was really good.
Yeah, I was very surprised. That was one where like when we're talking about books that like aren't hyped on BookTube, like haven't heard anybody talk about that one, and I like read it and was pleasantly surprised it was a 5-star. Like I remember being like shocked about some of the twists in there.
What's that other author that you love? Christina McDonald or McDonald?
Yeah. Hers are definitely like not super thrilling and definitely more like character driven than they would be plot driven. So and a lot of times it focuses on like either a mother-daughter dynamic or a mother-son. And so I really liked, well, I don't think I ever gave any of them 5 stars, but I think that like the more that I read them, the more I'm just seeing the pattern that she writes in. And so like they're just becoming like.
What about Stillhouse Lake? Is that considered domestic?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
That one would be a good one because it's like stalker, run away from your bad husband. Like, yeah. That one had my heart beating.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I liked For Better and Worse. I like it when you have like your average people who want to be serial killers. Like that's like literally my jam.
Oh yeah, I read that one.
Yeah.
Or like my darling wife or dear wife.
Yeah, my something wife by Smith.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
It definitely gave me like Dexter vibes, like it says on the cover. So
she said she did like For Better and Worse. She gave it 4 stars.
Yay. I read that one in like one sitting on an airplane and it was so good.
Oh, it looks like it's true that if you don't like Behind Closed Doors, you should read the other books.
I've hated all these books, so
Me too. I was so disappointed.
I read her newest one, The Therapist, and I would say it's my second favorite from her.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it's nearly as good as Behind Closed Doors.
It's going to be like a Riley Sager split. You're either going to love these two and hate the other ones, or love these and hate those.
Yeah, I loved the first one, Behind Closed Doors, and then the second one, The Breakdown, was a 4-star, and then whatever the other one was, they're all like B's, so I get them all mixed up. But whatever the third one was like a 3-star, and then I was like, yeah, I was like, nope. After that, like once I hit a 3-star, it's like, nah, you're gone, bye. Yeah.
Sarah, you might like A.R. Torre's domestic thrillers. They're very drama-filled, very exciting, and it sounds like similar to For Better and Worse. I just read Every Last Secret. It gives very strong Last Mrs. Parrish vibes, like bougie, rich people that are...
As soon as I read that book, I was like, Hailey's going to love this book. This is a Hailey book.
So good. Also, Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. That one blew.
I loved that one.
That was crazy.
Oh yeah, you guys keep raving about that.
It was really, really good. And it's crazy, like, because the first like few chapters like immediately suck you in. It's about like, I don't know, like Jacqueline, you would love it because it's like about a messed up situation. So
okay, I'll add it to my list.
Yes.
I wasn't sure at first. I don't know, like something about the cover and the title it sounded like just something that was going to be mediocre. And then everyone started like raving about it. And so I was like, okay, maybe it is actually going to be good. But it just seemed like
I thought it was very different than your average woman missing type of book.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I liked her. I think I only read one other book by her. I read The Good Girl. The Good Girl? No, which is the one that's like Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah,
Good
that
Girl.
was a Good Girl. I got that recommendation from you, and I loved that one.
Yeah, that's the only one I think I read, and I did really like it, but I liked that particular like theme of it.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones are not worth it. Don't do it. I'm working through her backlist right now to try to rank them all, and it's a rough time.
Just not.
Have you read this one yet?
1 star.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah, no. As soon as I read that book, I was like, please find me. I don't even want to put this in a little free library because like I don't want to put this on anyone. Like,
wow.
I will throw it in. Like,
okay, I will immediately put it in my unhaul pile then because I will trust your recommendation on that.
It was just the mental health rep. Like as a therapist, I cannot recommend books that.
Well, I've tried starting it like several times and then I just never finish it. So, and then with me not liking it, it's just a sign.
Yeah.
Which is funny. That's the book I bought when I met Jacqueline in real life for the first time at Barnes & Noble.
What was it?
This one.
Oh, that's
hilarious. We met at Barnes & Noble. I was like, yeah, this is the only book I really want to get. And yeah.
And I bought coffee and no books. No, did I buy a book? I don't remember.
I know you looked at a bunch of cookbooks, but I don't think you bought a book.
Yeah. Definitely got that coffee, though.
Yeah. That's for coffee.
Okay, more kidnapped books.
Ooh.
So definitely what we just said, The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. Kubica? How do you say that?
I was saying Kubica in my blog.
Kubica?
That might be wrong.
Yeah, I've always been called Kubica.
Kubica. That's how I say it.
Yeah.
Kubica.
I mentioned it before, but When She Returned by Lucinda Berry, it's about a woman who gets kidnapped by a cult.
Ooh.
So, and then she returns, obviously. Spoilers, but it's on the title, so. The Perfect Mother by Amy Malloy. Yeah, that one has to do with like a kidnapping, like a newborn. She also has another one that has to do with like kidnapping. It's called Goodnight Beautiful. It's the first half is like amazing, and then the second half is just awful.
Yeah. Oh, I have that.
It basically like steals like a Stephen King type story. I won't say which one because I don't want to spoil it, but it's like a 5-star first half and then a 1-star second half. So,
man, this is really easy for me to just go through my TBR right now and just don't need that, don't need that.
Like, Tears of Tess by Pepper Winters. It's like kind of like a new adult erotica, but it does have kidnapping in it. Living Dead Girl by Elizabeth Scott. I think that's a YA, but it has kidnapping in it.
Still Missing, Chevy Stevens. Last time I'm going to say this author's name, I promise.
Yeah. If you want a nonfiction rec, I feel like that's all I bring to the show. A Stolen Life, true story of a little girl being kidnapped and literally spending like 18 years of her life being kidnapped and having kids.
The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson.
Yes. I love that.
No Exit by Taylor Adams.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I was like, that doesn't have kidnapping in it, but it does.
Well, there's this little girl like in a cage.
Yeah. Oh, The Lost by Natasha Preston. Like that is technically kidnapping and torture, and it's really, really good. But it's a YA book, but it's like really dark and graphic for a YA book.
I haven't read it, but All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda.
I was just gonna say that one.
Oh,
yeah,
I love
it. I recently read a Megan Miranda book, and I asked like which other ones people wanted me to read.
I literally despise that book because it's written backwards. Like I hate that.
Oh, that's like The Talented Mr. Ripley.
How do you read it backwards?
It's literally written backwards. Like I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, like you know kind of what happens, and then as you're reading, you're finding out like what led up to it. But I'm like,
and then she's kidnapped, and then she's before she's kidnapped or something.
Yes. No, like it literally, like it's like you have to follow the days because it's totally backwards.
Okay.
Now I'm intrigued.
I don't remember it being like that. I just remember trying to figure out who the kidnapper was, I think, or something. But I don't remember the actual format. I just really enjoyed it, but I read it years ago.
Yeah, so did I.
Did you say Room?
Remember, I was like, what is like this is, and then I found out, I was like, wait, this is going backwards. I was like, this is so stupid.
Did we already say Room? By Emma Donoghue.
Yeah.
If you like All the Missing Girls, The Girl from Widow Hills was Megan Miranda's book last year, like her 2020 release.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about a missing girl who came back. Also, Ruth Ware has a ton of missing women books. That's like her lane. Somebody said The Chain. Oh, Sarah said The Chain.
Oh yeah, The Chain was like really, really good for the first half, and then it was like a lot going on for the second half, so it ended up being just a middle range book for me.
It started out as a novella, and then the author like expanded on it. Why? For what?
Yeah,
you should have left it.
I think we lost Jessie.
Oh no.
She'll be back. One YA one it's called Stolen by Lucy Christopher. It's about a 16-year-old girl that gets kidnapped from a Bangkok airport and is taken to like the Australia outback.
Ooh.
The couple next door that kind of has.
I would go with The Pale White as far as like horror goes. It's by Chad Lutzke, and it's about these 3 girls that are in an attic, and all you know is that they've been kidnapped, and you're just following. But it's really, really short too. Or Go Down Hard by Ali C, which is really, I mean, you don't really see the kidnapping happening, but you know that this guy keeps women locked up and basically ends up murdering them. So I guess you can sort of count that one.
Playing Nice by J.P. Delaney is
Yes.
like unintentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's really good.
I love that one. Also, I just remembered, if you're looking for something like Night Swim, which we couldn't really come up with anything earlier, Take It Back by Kia Abdullah is absolutely incredible. And it's really similar, like rape culture, Me Too movement within the context of a thriller. And it's also a legal thriller, which makes it a lot more interesting. You're like following a trial, a lot like Night Swim.
Okay.
What about that book, The Cellar by Natasha Preston? I haven't read that one, but I've heard that. Yeah, I knew someone had read it.
I like it. It was pretty good.
I think I have that one.
I think you do too. It's the one with the chair on it.
Yeah.
With the flower.
It's like The Good Girl. Very Stockholm Syndrome.
Someone had messaged me on Instagram today and was telling me to read one of her books, but I don't know if it was that one or if it was, because all of her books are like the something. So I don't know if it was The Cabin or The Cellar.
The Cabin is all right. I like The Cellar better. Just don't do The Lake. Avoid The Lake like the plague.
It was The Cabin that they recommended because, and this is the same person that was like, oh, you need to like read If You Tell, like, do you have that? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they were like, read it right now. And so I did. And I was like, yeah, that's so good. But they were like, oh, they're on chapter 14 and it's already a 5-star for me. So
wow.
I don't know.
And then I'll mention it again. Go ahead, Hailey.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm sorry. Thank you for having me, Jackie. I have to do planning with my mom.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping on.
Bye, Hailey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
One more I was gonna say for kidnapping is pretty. I'll say it again. Pretty Stolen Dolls. That's like the 2 underage girls that they meet like this doll maker in a flea market, and he kidnaps them. I think that's all the kidnapping ones I have.
And Then She Was Gone is another one too that has that kidnapping element.
Yeah. Just like Room, Dear Child also has that element.
Oh, and Invisible Girl is one, right? With the where they kidnap her, they kidnap the girl, or is she killed? I can't remember.
I'm not sure if I read that.
It's a Lisa Jewell book as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't read that one yet. Okay, let's see what else we have. I think Jessie's trying to get back on, but she's having some problems, so I was trying to help her. Oh yeah, did you say The Butterfly Garden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah, The Lost, The Silence by Daisy Pierce. Oh, Sour Candy. I think I've seen a picture of that and it looks
Yes, I want to read that so bad.
Yeah, that's Keelan Patrick Burke. His books are amazing.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him. So
oh my gosh, Sarah, you didn't like Pretty Girls either?
Well, see, okay, here's the thing about Pretty Girls though. Like I remember enjoying it when I read it, but everybody talks about like, oh my gosh, it was so gruesome. It was so, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I really don't remember it now. So, and I read it like only like a few years ago. So it's not like I read it like 10 years ago or something. I mean, I read it within the last 5 years and I'm like, I don't remember it. So it obviously didn't stick with me.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is the last one. Let's do some true crime recs.
Ooh, I know you have one, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I only have technically like one because I've only read like one so far. But If You Tell, 5-star for me. Absolutely loved it because
Greg Olson.
I just love like it was super fast paced, and I just couldn't believe that it was like a true story. Like it's crazy to think that a mother is like so crazy that she can just be so awful to her kids, to her husband, like literally murder people. It's nuts.
What's the name of it?
It's called If You Tell by Greg Olson.
Oh, yes. I have that on my Kindle because I think they have it available on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. It's very, very like.
I need to read it.
It's deep. I had to take a couple breaks because that lady is cray. The only other true crime book that I have on my TBR, and I was telling Jacqueline this on the podcast, is that I used to, like 20 years ago, that was my genre. I read nothing but true crime, but it's been 20 years. So I don't remember any of the titles or any of that, but I used to read ones about like serial killers that would like kidnap prostitutes. And then like, you know, it would talk about all the different places they left their bodies and stuff like that. But one that I have on my TBR is called Devil in the White City by Eric Larson.
I have that one right here.
Did you read it?
No, not yet.
Okay. So Devil in the White City, it's about the Chicago fair or something like that. And then like bodies were, you know, people were dying, but it was like, I don't know. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
So I found it at like the book exchange. I was like, I'll get it. But I would like to start like dabbling back into true crime. But yeah, I don't remember any of my titles. They were really good though. It was my genre of choice.
Yeah, I'm more of a like true crime watcher, like documentaries and stuff. And while
podcasts for true crime. Oh.
Yeah, and while I own a lot of true crime books, and I'm part of like a true crime club where we read books, you know, every month. I just can't seem to like. Maybe if I listen to them on audiobook, but there's one, The Killer Clown, that I've been wanting to read, which is the John Gacy story.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and Devil's Knot is another one that I want to read. And then there's the other one. Damn, I don't know where it is, but it's a story told from, I think it's the mother and the daughter from Ted Bundy, which is like the Prince something. I forgot which one it is, but that one's on my TBR as well. But I will say The Real Lolita is a really good one. And it's about the case of the story that's based off of Lolita by, I forget his name, that Russian guy or...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's that story, because he keeps saying that the story was not based on this true event when they found, well, they think they found proof that it is based on that story. So it talks about her, Sally Warner is the name of the girl, and her kidnapping by this guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
I saw on TV they were talking about the BTK killer.
Yeah.
And I like looked up, like there were actual books for that. So I added one that was called Bind, Torture, Kill, the inside story of BTK. I just haven't read any of these yet, but yeah, I also added one called The Babysitter, My Summers with a Serial Killer.
Yes, I have that one on my Kindle.
Yeah.
Vladimir Nabokov. Yeah, Nabokov. That's the one.
Yeah, I actually added Lolita to my TBR, but I didn't realize there was actual like a true crime book like about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to look that up then.
Yeah, it's The Real Lolita, and it's written by Sarah Wiseman or Weiner, something like Sarah Weiner, something with a W. I can't see it from here.
Okay. A lot of people are saying The Girl Next Door, which I started listening to, and it kind of reminded me a lot of like Stephen King. So,
but is that true?
Oh yeah, so it's a fiction book based on a true story.
Okay.
So I need to go back and try it again.
It's a rough one. It's a really, really rough one.
I have that one.
Yeah. There's a podcast that John Stamos is doing called Snatching Sinatra. It's on Spotify. It's a true story about the kidnapping of Frank Sinatra's son. What? Wow, that sounds good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had done some research because I saw that his daughter had a memoir, and I was like, oh, well, I'll probably read that one. But yeah, all of the reviews on Goodreads were not great. So I decided to pick a different one because there's like a bunch about him. So I tried to pick the one that was like the highest rated to add.
Right.
Yeah, but that's good to know. Okay. I think we got Jess is back.
She's back.
I don't know how well this will work. I can't see y'all, but I can see myself.
That's okay.
I'm literally using my phone as a hotspot for my laptop, so I have no faith in this connection.
Well, you try it. Came back in time to say goodbye.
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah. Yeah. Hailey had to go, and I think that we kind of went through all of the recommendations. When the show gets super long, then it's so hard for people to look back and see. Actually, Key, I don't know if you're still on. I saw that you had asked for suspense with romance, but we did talk about that previously. So I'll try and like find the part that we talked about it, and I can send it to you, so that way you can just go to that part and watch that part. But thank you for hopping on. And we did kind of answer this a little bit because we talked about the perfect child and stuff like that. So again, if you scroll back, maybe if you watch with like captions, or you can see the little comments pop up because I think someone asked for like the perfect child, baby teeth vibes, and the push was kind of that part of that. So you can look back for that. But that's good. People are gonna go binge your videos now, Marcy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but thank you guys for coming on. I actually don't know when the next one would be, just because I'm going to be going back to work, and it's really hard to plan super far in advance when I do that. But I also want us to read like a bunch more thrillers, because most of you guys ask for thrillers all the time. So I think I might not do one until like the actual next year, like in the beginning of next year. So it gives us some time to binge a bunch of books and get you guys more recs, so we're not just recommending the same things over and over again. But
yeah,
if you need to go follow Marcy, like I have everyone's link down below, and Hailey too, she had to pop off. But it's been super fun, and I'm so glad that you guys hop on and ask us for book recommendations. So
thank you so much for having me on.
Yay.
I'm like so honored.
I got all
it was
down.
great having
I
you
wrote
on.
down all the horror recs.
Yeah.
Even though I watch your channel, I'm already subscribed to you, and I do write down things in your wrap up because you explain books so good. But I'm like, all right, I got some.
Sometimes I'm like, I think I'm doing such a bad job. I'm like, why am I doing this? But I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going, and somebody will understand me.
The wrap up is late, but she did a great job. Yeah. So I'll forgive her.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you guys another day. So bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.